What is going on, trainers? Drumvillain here, bringing you some more Pokemon Go PvP content, and today we're taking a look at a Great League team, and this Great League team was able to take this trainer up to the Global Leaderboards. DOOMNukem is a friend of the channel, so I'm very excited to be able to share this set with you that took this trainer up to rank number 411 in the world, and show you how this team works, showcase it for you a little bit, and if you want to build this team yourself and give it a try, you definitely can do. Now, this is an open Great League team. Obviously, Altaria is banned in the Remix Cup in Great League, so this is only for open Great League, but it does perform very, very well against a lot of those meta picks. So as always, guys, don't forget to subscribe, and let's jump into some battles. Now, this team consists of an Altaria lead with Registeel in the safe swap position and Toxicroak in the back, and in the first matchup, they pull an absolutely awful lead. Azumarill is probably one of the worst leads Altaria can see, along with Galarian Stunfisk. So they swap into their Registeel and drag out a Galarian Stunfisk. So this is absolutely awful in this first matchup. This is looking very, very bad. The Registeel is going to struggle to take switch advantage. I think, yep, they're going to let the Earthquake through, and they're going to choose to let the Registeel go down. That, or they were hoping for a Rock Slide, and we're hoping that they might try to bait them out. But they're going to be at 2 Focus Blasts off here. It's not enough to one-shot, but it does monumental damage, smashing that Galarian Stunfisk to pieces. And maybe they're going to go for a super aggressive farm down here. It would make sense because the Altaria doesn't have a lot of play left, because it's just going to get walled by that Azumarill again. So maybe with one shield advantage, Toxicroak can sweep whatever's in back. But with them having Azumarill and Stunfisk, that might not be likely. Azumarill comes back in and they're going to swap straight to Toxicroak and start trying to get ahead on energy, able to sneak a counter through when the Azumarill throws. That's huge. Toxicroak needs all the energy it can get if it's going to sweep this back game. Now, the Azumarill staying in, which is either terrible news for the Altaria or fantastic news for the Altaria, because maybe whatever they've got in back struggles with Toxicroak as well. They're going to get to this Mud Bomb as well. This is going to force the last shield or take switch advantage for this trainer. Let's see what they've got in back. And it's a Registeel. That means Toxicroak can sweep. They concede the match. GG. Very impressive win there from a terrible lead and very, very punishing counter swap. Still able to take that win. Now, this Altaria is running the legacy move Moonblast, which was available on Swablu Community Day, but you don't need it for Altaria. You can run Dazzling Gleam, and Moonblast is a little bit better, but you're not going to suffer too badly for having Dazzling Gleam instead of Moonblast. Now, in the lead in this match, they pull a Swampert lead, and that's fantastic for Altaria. Altaria does really, really well against Swampert. A Sludge Wave doesn't one-shot, so you don't have to worry about shielding at all, and you only have to match if they shield first. They swap out to a Drapion, and Toxicroak is a fantastic punish. To Drapion, the counters hit for neutral. You can survive at least one Aqua Tail. Crunch is resisted, and your Mud Bombs are hitting them for massive damage. So Toxicroak takes a huge lead in switch advantage with loads of health left. Swampert's going to come back in. It's got to throw if it doesn't want to have to shield a Mud Bomb. So they throw the Hydro Cannon, take out the Toxicroak. Altaria's still locked on. They bring in Skarmory. Registeel comes in. Absolute hard counter city here. That's going to be a good game. Very fortunate team comp there for DOOMNukem. Absolute hard counters across the board. Now we're going to jump into the third match, and they pull a Deoxys lead. Now, Deoxys lead is pretty scary for this team. If it's got Psycho Boost, it can probably one-shot the Toxicroak. It can chip down the Registeel with the counter damage. And if it's got Rock Slide, it can hit Altaria for good damage. They throw a Psycho Boost, so they're probably going to dip and swap out. Yet they bring in a Vigoroth. Now, Toxicroak does quite well against Vigoroth. You can survive one Mud Bomb, you're resisting the counters. But Doom's going to choose to throw a Sky Attack first, and they want to preserve some health on this Altaria for the defense Deoxys, because it's going to be able to put in some serious work against this team if they don't, especially now that they know the Deoxys has Psycho Boosts, which is very, very threatening to the Toxicroak. They throw a second Sky Attack and swap out to Toxicroak. This is an iffy decision. The Deoxys is going to get to those Psycho Boosts pretty quick. Looks like they're building up to 2 rather than throwing one straight away. So Toxicroak able to get to this Sludge Bomb. This is going to take out the Deoxys if it doesn't shield. It does get the shield, and they're going to throw here. Now, is this worth? I think this might be worth a shield, just because then they'd have to throw another. They actually throw a Thunderbolt, which is kind of crazy. I think Toxicroak could have survived that actually. And now this is going to be the Psycho Boost. Yep, takes out the Toxicroak. Altaria is going to come in and start doing some work with the Dragon Breath, and I don't think this is worth shielding, because Defense Deoxys has massive defense but low health, and the lock-ons only hit for one at a time, but that will chip down the Deoxys over time. There's an Obstagoon in the back. This is the nightmare. The good news is that Focus Blast will one-shot, but they have to get this through. They have to call this. Oh, they let it through! Bang! Annihilated! They're going to be able to lock on, farm down the Deoxys and take the win. The opponent must have been expecting the Registeel to try and shield bait with the flash cannon, but nope, they go straight for the nuke. There isn't that much energy difference at this point between Focus Blast and flash cannon, so I agree with Doom going straight for the Focus Blast there, just going for 2 and hoping to make it to them both. And the next matchup, it's another defense Deoxys lead. Are they going to get as lucky in this matchup as they did in the last one? Now, the Deoxys is staying in, building up a lot of energy, and I think it's always worth letting the first one go through, yep, with an Altaria, because even if it's a Rock Slide, you see, it does a good chunk of damage, but you can take it comfortably, and you're certainly not going to get farmed down by those counters. Going straight for the Moon Blast here, this will do a lot more damage than a Sky Attack would if it goes through. It does, and now the threat of being farmed down with Dragon Breath is definitely there. Are they going to shield? No, they're going to let it go through. They must be going for an aggressive farm down, probably with Toxicroak, I'd say. Toxicroak with an energy lead is very... No, they're coming with the Registeel. Absolutely. I mean, they don't have time to take much damage from the counters, and now if they've got a defense Deoxys out of the way, there's a good chance Registeel can heavily threaten what's in back. They're bringing in Azumarill, obviously because Azumarill's probably best matchup they expect would have been the Altaria, so they're wanting to use the Azumarill. They absorb the energy and swap out to a Sableye. This is not good. Sableye does quite well against both Toxicroak and Registeel, just because Sableye chips away for good neutral damage with the Foul Plays and the Shadow Claws against Registeel, and Toxicroak's pretty squishy, but they're going to throw a Flash Cannon, get a shield, and bring in Toxicroak. Now, the counters are resisted, but you see they do chunk away because Sableye is pretty squishy. Now, he's going to go straight for a Mud Bomb here. This is going to do good damage, won't quite take it out, nope. But what they can do now is shield up and farm down this Sableye entirely. They probably have to commit 2 shields. The Sableye's got a lot of energy here, but this is worth committing both shields to, and then it's if they can make it to enough moves to finish off this Azumarill. Azumarill comes in. They're going to go for the Mud Bomb, hoping to get the last shield. I don't think they're going to make it to this Sludge Bomb as well. They do get the shield, when the Azumarill's already going to move. They're going to throw it here. Now, this Registeel needs to get to 2 Flash Cannons to take out this Azumarill. It's very, very low. Realistically, with the bubbles, it's in Ice Beam range at this point, so I don't think they're going to be able to take a win in this game. Now, they head it off. It's good damage. It's quite close, this game. Realistically, if the Toxicroak could have got to 2 Mud Bombs against this Azumarill, they would have had enough damage to take it out, but that's going to be a GG against a tough line there. Perhaps if they farm down the Deoxys at the start with Toxicroak rather than an aggressive lock-on farm down, but I do like the idea behind the lock-on farm down, just because it's not likely they have another hard Registeel counter in the back. Now, jumping into the last matchup of the set, and it's a Drifblim lead. And they catch on Registeel. This is after 4 hexes, so this should be an Icy Wind. It is, that's fantastic. Now, Altaria can put good work in against Drifblim, but those Icy Winds are going to absolutely smash you to pieces. Now, the opponent seems to attempt to catch a Flash Cannon on their Lantern, but the Registeel holds fire and throws a Focus Blast, which does a good chunk of damage. It would have probably hit for more than 50%, but the Icy Wind debuff does take quite a bit of damage out of Registeel's sails here. But you see now, they're going to be able to lock on farm down if this Lantern doesn't dump charge moves into Registeel to take them out. They throw a Hydro Pump, doing big damage, and they're actually going to swap out to Altaria and snipe down the Lantern. Now, Drifblim comes in, it's got energy already, which is kind of scary. They're going to get debuffed, but this Altaria, it's worth the shield because it's got enough energy to start threatening here, and they're probably going to get to both of these Sky Attacks before Drifblim gets to another Icy Wind. It's going to be close. They actually throw an extra couple of Dragon Breaths because they know they've got time to before the Drifblim can throw. So very good play there. And they actually CMP tie. This is beautiful. I think this is worth letting go down now because the Drifblim is a very hard punish to Toxicroak. And they've got a Stunfisk in the back, so very good shout to save the shield for Toxicroak. Altaria doesn't have much play left in this game. They're going to build up energy, and this tempts the Stunfisk to throw, because if the Stunfisk went for an aggressive Mudshot farm down, which it could have done with that much health there, this Toxicroak would have been screwed because they only need to hit 1 Earthquake on this Toxicroak to knock it out. Toxicroak does very well, but it doesn't do that well against Stunfisk. You need a shield to survive that Earthquake. So we get the first shield. They need to catch here because they've got the energy. They do. Is this an Earthquake? Is this going to give them the win? I mean, you've seen the title, you've seen the guys yellow at the side of the video, you know where it's going to end up. They survived the earthquake, they're going to be able to, that Drifblim, triple resisting the counters. It seems to have no health at all, but doesn't get knocked out. Toxicroak's going to throw the sludge bomb. It's not necessarily overkill, but it's enough to take it out. They farm down the Galarian Stunfisk and take the win. Fantastic catch, fantastic win, able to catch both an Icy Wind on the Registeel and an Earthquake on the Registeel that had no health left. Absolutely phenomenal. They're going to go ahead and catch their Lugia here. Brilliant play, fantastic catches, worthy of putting DOOMNukem up on the global leaderboards nice and early in the season. Struggling a bit to catch this Lugia though, but they're going to be able to put it away all the same. Able to push them up to 25-20 elo into veteran rank, where they'll get Leon's hat. It's a pretty nice hat. I'm looking forward to getting it myself, hopefully in a few short days. Let me know down below what you guys think about the team. How have you got on with Great League? Are you prepared for Ultra League and the Ultra League remix coming up soon? Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. If you're already subscribed, you're an absolute legend. And as always, I will catch you guys next time.